Welcome to the first ever episode of Hibiscus Society News, Shooting the Shit. I'm Benjamin Donkey Punch Hawk, and tonight I've got Mike, the Anarcho Uncle Bobby, and I got C-Sut from Hibiscus Society. And then I've also got 40.
What up?
So we got a few late arrivals. It's okay. This was literally planned like a backroom deal at Congress. So late middle and in the shadows. So we got one more guest coming in. We got Tommy Payne. He's going to be coming in a little bit later. He's stuffed his face with food, and nobody wants to see that shit. So,
Ew.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. So basically, what this show's all about is we're going to talk about current events that we see in the news, things going on with the government, things going on in politics, things going on in just the world around us, with a bunch of just normal, common folk with regular. Most of us are high school educated, maybe a little bit of college, maybe some trade school, but none of us are like rogue college scholars. And we're going to try to decipher this shit so we can kind of put it out there so you can base your own opinions on what's going on in the world around you. So the first thing, so I brought this up in my news segment last night. Biden toting the status quo of foreign policy, of the foreign diplomacy force, bombed Iranian-backed terrorists in Syria. And
36 days. That's all it took.
Right? Actually, I figured it'd be like 2 weeks. Yeah, I actually gave him less time before he started dropping the bomb on people.
Yeah. I expected it right away, so I was a little surprised they didn't start it until later.
I just want to point out, this is the first one we know of.
Oh, yeah, fair.
That's true.
True that. Yeah. True that. Because if you ask people, because everybody seems to have, like, everybody went back to, like, well, Kamala Harris, back when she was back when she was not vice president, gave Trump a bunch of rash of shit for bombing foreign policy in 2017. And everybody thinks that's the last time we bombed anybody was 2017. It's like, no, we've bombed if you think we're not doing surgical drone strikes every fucking hour,
but
I want to know your drug dealer.
Yeah.
It's okay now because we have a woman vice president and, all that shit.
It's okay because the Democratic bombs have sprinkles and trans flags on them.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm kidding. No, actually, I saw a meme. It was great. It's like, we have $2,000 checks at home, and then it had like a picture of a JDAM with like a Black Lives Matter sticker and a trans flag on it, and then like a peace symbol on it. Like just all the I think it had a coexist bumper sticker on it. It was fucking, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cringy.
It's been interesting trying to see people try to justify it.
Well, it's okay. It's spreading democracy.
Democracy.
Like I was saying earlier, this is being called by the news. People are calling it an act of diplomacy.
Oh my fucking God. Oh, we're fucked.
I don't know if I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna laugh or cry.
Oh my God. With my mechanical dumbass is like, wait, diplomacy is when you're supposed to talk to somebody, and then when you blow them up, that's when diplomacy fails. Right? I mean, am I wrong in this? Hello, Kitty.
Technically. Oh God. Hey, Loki.
Nice. Now God of chaos
Jesus,
and mischief.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's a big cat.
He is a big one. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's entertainment. I already figured this thing was going to be full of bloopers and funny shit. So it's all good. All All right, so I mean, okay, I don't know about you guys. I'm against. If you attack me, by all means, I will destroy you. If you attack me, I will attack you. I will defend myself and make you never want to attack me again. But on the flip side of it, it's like with this situation in the Middle East, we've been there for so goddamn long, and we're fucking with like the dynamic of like their own like we're altering their country away from what they want to do with their own country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to be. I can be I can empathize with them. You know, like you're defending your home. Like if somebody came into my country, had been in my country for 12 years, making me go through security checkpoints, making me blowing up buildings, arresting my neighbors, intimidating people, doing shit, you know, all for the war on terror, and basically treating me like I'm suspect for 12 years, I'm not going to like you. I'm going to grow to hate you, and I'm going to start pushing back and wanting you to get the fuck out of my country. So I will do whatever means necessary to defend my country. So I can see where they're coming from.
I mean, shit, we'd start that on day one. Like, we wouldn't allow people to come to our country that way. And, like, they just don't have the same means to do the kind of things that we would do in that situation. I mean, they're just creating more, you know, terrorists. Like, in my opinion, freedom fighters. They're fighting for their own freedom.
Right. But, I mean, how many orphans do you got to make? You know, I mean, it's like, how, you know, it's like how we keep doing it's a foreign policy that doesn't work. We keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That by definition is insanity.
Yep.
I don't think we're expecting a different result. I think the people might be, but I don't think our government expects shit to be different.
Well, I know that everybody that owns stock in Raytheon and Grumman and all the weapons manufacturers that manufacture the drones and the missiles and the bombs are loving it because bombs are selling. They're making money, and
they got blood on their hands.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that own those stocks are our own politicians.
Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't
be. The whole situation in Syria is that one, I can notice and I can tell just by being some random fucking dude on the internet. Is that one, after the fall of Iraq when we invaded in 2003, to where everybody was with us for about the first 6 minutes when they tore down all the Saddam statues, and everything turned into total anarchy, and it was just everybody for themselves, and factionalism started to happen like that. We learned a little bit from that to where we weren't going to invade. And then we get into Libya, to where now we're just bombing people and letting the locals do what they want. And then you see what happened there. It turned into total anarchy and factionalism to where every neighbor is against every neighbor. So it's at this point is like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And now our military is getting into minor confrontations, no shooting or like beating people with Russian troops that are in Syria. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
I wouldn't call that anarchy. That's chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
But by definition, chaos is more organized than anarchy.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, like, anarchy can come with plenty of organization and people working together and shit like that. What was happening there was just absolute craziness, like, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a level more. There's when you're talking about like the chaos is going to be more it's chaotic. There's no organization, and then anarchy is there's just no head of anything.
Yeah, the government would love
everybody's doing their own thing, but there's still a level of organization. I mean, people are going to group up no matter what you do. You know.
Yeah. It's natural.
human nature. So, but no, you're absolutely right. I mean, honestly, I think too, like with when we took out Saddam Hussein, I think that was probably the worst thing we could have done for the Middle East, because he kept a level of control and stability for the Middle East that kept all the different factions in line. Yeah, it was, but once again, we were an invading army in there, and they didn't want us there. But there was still a level, all the other Middle Eastern countries still kind of all fell in line. And then once Saddam Hussein got executed and taken out of power, now there's a big power vacuum, and now we've got this clusterfuck of, we got a shitstorm. And for over a decade, we've been trying to deal with it, and we're not making anything better.
No, not at all. Not even close. It has just gotten worse and worse.
I was a little young when all that shit was going on, so I hardly have much of an idea of what was going on then.
Yeah, see, I'm pushing. I'm almost 40, so I was an adult. I actually tried to join the military as soon as 9/11 happened, but I'm chonky. They wouldn't take me.
Yeah, I got big old holes in my ears, so they wouldn't take me either. I'd have to get them sewn closed.
So I was out there trying to convince people we didn't need the Patriot Act.
You were a smart man. I thought I was a dumbass back then. I was a hardcore Republican conservative, and I was like, yeah, fuck the terrorists. The only good terrorists are dead terrorists. Patriot Act, woo! And now that I'm educated and red-pilled, I'm like, I was a fucking idiot for even supporting that.
I was half an idiot because I was like, oh God, terrorism bad, but also don't do this. This isn't for them, this is for us. Yeah. They're not going to use this on them, they're going to use it on us.
See, you saw that. I thought they would never, our country would, I was so Americanized that I never thought that our government would ever do anything to its own citizens to what they're doing now with arresting people for essentially violating their First Amendment right for posting memes and asking questions. I mean, we've got they're going after boot boys hard across the country, and they just started hitting North Texas hard. There's like 2 guys in custody, one up in Denton that they took all of his like Twitter, all of his tweets, and have basically been like, oh, well, you incited the riot on the 6th, and you are inciting insurrection, and you're doing this. It's like, I mean, literally one of the things he said in one of his quoted tweets was, why didn't someone shoot that cop? And he was referring to the George Floyd when he had his knee on George Floyd's neck. Why didn't somebody shoot the cop?
Yeah.
Spicy.
I don't think that's spicy at all at this point. We should be defending each other.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that have said much worse shit. I mean that as
citizens. Like, just your generic citizen should be defending each other at this point.
Standing by and recording isn't really enough.
Well, I mean, shit, you got Kathy, you got that, what is it, Kathy Griffith? Kathy Gift, what the not funny D-list celebrity chick who held the Trump head, the severed Trump head. Oh, yeah. Right? She didn't get arrested for doing that. I mean, it was the president, for fuck's sake, and she didn't get arrested for that. But a guy asks a simple rhetorical question, and he goes to he's now facing federal charges. That's First Amendment. That's satire. Memes are art. I'm probably
gonna get in trouble. I saw that meme. They replaced it with Biden's head, and they're like, "Is it still funny now?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah. No, that Trump's severed head is still funny now. It's still funny. Things are funny. It's just now we got the government with no sense of humor going in there like the Queen of fucking Hearts, like off with their heads.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison because that's exactly what they're doing these days.
Yeah, they're going to jump at any chance people give them. Even if it's the tiniest thing, they're going to take it and fucking run with it. I mean, like, do these guys have any kind of legal defense set up? Is there kind of fun that we can share around?
I got sent the article today. But it's Dallas Daily News, and you have to pay to read the article. But the guy who sent me has the subscription, so he screenshotted all the articles, but it's from them. But I don't know what group they're with to find out if they're doing like a GoFundMe or figure out any shit.
Yeah, maybe it'll come to light in time.
Yeah, I mean, I just found out about this like literally like 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I'm sure something will come out eventually.
So, but that kind of goes into one of my earlier shows when I said, like, don't you really with the way America is right now. I'm going to come out and say it. The First Amendment's dead. The First Amendment is dead, and you have to watch what you say online to others, even if you're joking. If you don't put on there, haha, just kidding. Or just fucking around, what if we did this? Like, you don't even want to do that because they'll use that shit against you and come out and arrest you, even though it's satire and rhetorical and not even close to even a threat. But they've gone so zero tolerance on everything now. I mean, I already know that's in the government right now. There's some people in a back room coming up with the Patriot Act 2.0. They're probably going to call like the Homeland Safety Act.
Yeah,
that makes it a crime
good
to post memes that are anti-government or depict violence towards police or government.
Oh, fuck. Man.
They're going to say it's the same as yelling fire in a crowded room.
Give us a couple of years, we're going to look just like China.
Ooh, fuck me.
Ugh.
I'd rather be 6 feet under.
Yeah,
By then,
no, that is
like us probably will be.
maybe not. Who knows? The more, you know what though? I will
If they
say,
have their way.
if they have their way. But the nice part is that more and more people are waking up, going, wait, they're reading articles and they're reading the quotes, and like the comments coming back on them are like, wait, you arrested him for that? Well, shit, I guess I'm going to go to jail for fucking all the times I told somebody I want to stab them with a rusty fork or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my head, I'm like, maybe I should go clear out some tweets.
You're like, excuse me, runs off.
Oh, fuck.
So
Like
that's
that cartoon that kind of like takes the little step and then the little step and then just runs.
I'm gonna mosey on out of here now. But that brings so the First Amendment's dead, and now they're coming after the Second with this stupid fucking HR 127. You guys know what HR 127?
Yeah.
Any of y'all follow that bullshit? That abortion of a fucking bill.
See, my thing about that is it's so all-encompassing and it's so bad that I think that they put shit out like that on purpose so that they can take incrementally, instead of taking a mile at once, they're taking an inch and an inch and an inch and an inch. And they put shit out like that to distract from the smaller bills that are taking little things at a time.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know if something like that could actually get through. I mean, of course, like it could, but for fuck's sake.
I mean, we have a Democrat-controlled House. We got a Democrat-controlled Senate. Well, 50-50 split Senate.
And the Supreme Court hasn't done shit to show that they'll be, really supporting the Second Amendment.
No. So, and then the minute the Supreme Court sides with gun on the side of gun rights, Democrats will just turn around and add more seats to the Supreme Court and stack it with anti-gun judges. So they'll get rid of it because that's what they can do.
Yeah, and they're trying
Senate
to make
or Congress
DC
can add seats.
They want to make DC a state. They want to make Puerto Rico a state to add senators. But there's also, I don't know if you guys have seen this shit about counties in Oregon trying to vote to join Idaho and make it Greater Idaho. There's also a place in Northern California that wants to be the state of Jefferson. So that would add senators on the R side. Not necessarily that they're going to be, constitutionalists, but it'll be something. I mean, I hate this whole political game because that's all it is it's theater right now. And it's not like either side of it's going to really be supporting
Dog
more
and pony
rights.
show, man. It's a total dog and
that's what
pony
it's
show.
been this whole time.
Yep.
Enter Tommy.
Oh shit.
Tommy Payne.
There
Tommy,
goes
Tommy, Tommy Payne.
So, all right. So yeah. Jefferson. Yeah, the state of Jefferson. Honestly, California's been trying to do the state of Jefferson. Since I lived in California like 6 years ago. So they've been trying, and it's good luck. It's
Right.
I don't see it ever happening. But the one thing I'm worried about, the one thing going back to HR 127, how the fuck do you think they're gonna? I mean, so for the viewers that don't know what HR 127 is, it is the gun safety. It's a gun safety bill where they want to require everyone who owns firearms or ammunition, they have to have a license now. They have to go get a license, do 24 hours of training, pay $800 in insurance in order to own ammunition and own guns. They also want to ban assault weapons, basically anything with a detachable magazine or has a fully automatic variant. They also want to do universal background check, which is basically leading up to one giant. But in order to do all this, you have to tell the government that you own guns in the first place, and tell them. It's not only tell them what you own, where you have to tell them how you're storing it, where you're storing it, and you can be a felon if you don't store your guns properly or tell them where you're storing your guns. And that puts it in a database that's open to the public. So now all the criminals can go shopping online for whose house they're going to break into to try to get whatever gun they want to steal.
Yep. Not only that, they want to make it to where basically you have to go undergo psych evaluations where they would interview like ex-spouses, family members, shit like that.
Oh yeah, if you have a bitter ex-wife, she could ruin you.
Yeah, and same goes for women.
Take away from, or an abusive ex-husband.
It's in his hands if his ex-wife, owns a fucking firearm to protect herself from him, which is backwards as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you're not even talking to let's say you have depression and you're talking to a shrink and doing what you need to do and getting help, and you're healthy. You've never been hospitalized. You've never tried to hurt yourself, and that you just, hey, I'm depressed and getting seen. That could go against you, but you don't see your shrink. You're seeing a government appointed shrink.
Well, and the other important factor of it too is, I mean, there's a lot of factors too, but the one I keep bringing up is the social credit score type of stuff that, I mean, just think about in the corporate world, all these companies that are anti-2A at this point, you end up on that background check, and I mean, LinkedIn's going to come to the point where they have that on there. If this bill passes, does this guy pass our gun safety social credit score? Can he get the job?
You essentially could be canceled because you own guns.
I ain't scared of the Crip down the street or the fucking white supremacist down the street knowing where my guns are at. I mean, you're basically blackballed from society with how this could work. Easily. This isn't even conspiratorial.
Jesus
Absolutely.
Christ.
Yeah, that exactly. But I mean, this bill is such a nuclear bomb of a bill that the whole entirety of it will not pass. It's still in committee. It's been introduced, but it's still in committee. It hasn't come out yet. But I think what their hope is that they're going to sit down with the other side and then negotiate. And we can let go of this if you pass it with this. Whittle it down into something more. How do I put this? Make sense. Gun control-y.
More palatable to the masses.
Exactly.
Yeah, why shouldn't you do this? Why shouldn't you do that? Well, let me fucking tell you why. Because it's bullshit. I mean, people look at things at face value and they don't pay any attention to they just don't think into it enough to actually understand how it could actually affect people. They just think, oh, well, that sounds reasonable. Sure, the Patriot Act sounded reasonable, but here we fucking are.
Well, and for me, I keep going back to the social credit score thing like this. I mean, we've had bills in the past across all spectrums of legislation and control, not just guns, that have often showed hands. Like but I don't think we've ever had a bill, at least like within the last 60 years, that has shown what their long-term plans are, like shown their hand, and they showed their hand before the flop even came.
Yeah.
Like it's mind-boggling because this relates to so much more than guns. Like it just shows the entirety of the social credit structure that they want to institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
It's a lot more
scares
than
me.
guns. Oh, it's fucking terrifying. I mean, it'll always start with guns because that's the hot button issue. That's the emotional one. It will always start with guns and abortion, right?
Or something
Because
of that nature, yeah.
yeah, or terrorism. You know those 3 or 4 hot button issues,
Mhm.
and they're just. I mean, it kills 2 birds with 1 stone, really. And people there's that larger picture at play there. That's more than just the gun legislation. It's the social credit score too.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. If it's not in states where in red states with Republican held states, you don't really have to worry. I mean, it's good to. I would contact your Congress and senator, your Congress people and senators, voice your opposition to the bill, that you agree to no part of it at all. So, and make sure you. Well, I mean, I sent mine to mine and told him, like, I do not support any part of this bill. If you pass any part of this, approve any part of this bill, I will vote you out of office.
Yeah.
But anybody who's in a Democratic state, voice out to your Democratic leaders and go, look, I know you're a Democrat. I know you're not 2A, but this is going to hurt minorities. This is going to hurt the poor. This is going to make, I mean, who's got $800 and can take 24 hours of training when you're, a single parent working minimum wage, maybe 2 minimum wage jobs? You can't take time off work to do training. You can't take time off work to, for essentially three whole day classes in order to have your right. I mean, just the fact that this even is coming up. I mean, to say that you need to have a fucking license for a right.
Yeah.
Who the fuck do they think they are?
Well, what they're doing is they're instituting it in the coastal elite cities, or what are prototypically called those San Francisco, Los Angeles. I mean, Chicago's not really coastal, but same diff. New York, yada yada, Boston. And they're saying, well, it works here, right? They're establishing a standard. They're establishing a social norm. So it's not going to pass in the red states, or they're not going to really acknowledge it, right?
Right.
But they're going to set a standard here that the culture shifts with this quote unquote coastal, basically coastal plus Chicago and Houston places, that they're going to shift the tide of it. And they've been doing it for 40 years. And it's just going to shift the narrative farther to the left, as most people like to say, but it really isn't a left versus right issue for the most part. It's just shifting the narrative to, we don't need guns. We don't need, for whatever reason, I could go on a million ways about that, but it's just about shifting the narrative. Like, they know the bill's not going to pass, but it's a complete shift in the narrative, and they're going to see it. They're going to see these control measures continue to increase in these left places. It's just going to shift the narrative further.
Yeah, and it's funny though, is they use these cities as like the big, like, see, gun control works, but it doesn't. These are the most violent cities with the highest gun homicide rates in the fucking country. So obviously, it's not working. It doesn't do shit.
If anything, it's exacerbated the issue.
Yeah, because now you've created a whole unarmed society with a bunch of armed criminals.
Well, and it's not even that too. They've completely it destabilizes. So much just comes out of the Second Amendment right to protect yourself. It destabilizes large parts of that were already the fringes of society. So somewhat in line with what you were saying there, it destabilizes these parts. So you see these homeless camps that, 60 years ago, think in the Great Depression, right? If there was a homeless camp in LA, and I'm sure there were, they could be self-regulated, Now, it's a shit show.
Yeah. Well, there was also a level back then too of like, you know, our homeless neighbors would be taken care of by churches and communities, but now the government stepped in and won't let us help them without paying the government a permit or getting a food handler's license, or
it suggests all it does. I mean, it's just one of many facets, and you talked about having more conspiratorial minded stuff on the next episode, so I should probably just shut my fucking mouth. But
yeah, but no, that is a good point, like especially with helping homeless, because I went up to Dallas a couple months ago to go hand out like supplies for the homeless, like food, clothing, just basic toiletries, it just what you need to live on like a basic level. The only way we could do that is if a mass of us just walked around handing it out with the rifles. They got to the point where we were just driving from every location that they were at until we ran out of stuff to give. But if we didn't have any firearms on us, we would have been just threw on the fucking paddy wagon and just taken away.
Or they'd show up, pour bleach in the food, and cut the tents.
Yep. Like in Portland, how they literally had cops stand in front of a fucking dumpster that had recently thrown out food because they didn't want people to come and take it. You know how fucked up that is? What sense does that make?
And see, this is where something I hadn't seen until I started to travel. Because in my neck of the woods, the Mormon element, that stuff gets distributed out of the grocery store. You know, so like it never sees the dumpster, right? They'll work with that shit. It blew my mind when the first time I saw that was in LA. Seeing cops, it was during the riots after Eric Gardner. And it blew my mind to see them form, you know, crowd control around a fucking dumpster with fresh produce in it.
It's fucking insane.
I've been on the verge of homelessness. I've been on social assistance. I've stood in food lines, and to feed my family, if I had to take food out of fresh produce out of a dumpster and wash it off and make sure my kids and my wife were fed, I'd do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very fortunate that, you know, my life circumstances have changed, but that's why I support stores like Trader Joe's, because they hold on to the stuff and they give it to local food banks. They give it to local churches to hand out. I mean, Whole Foods does, but I don't shop at Whole Foods because that's too fucking expensive, and I don't have a man bun. So, and no offense to anybody out there with man buns. I'm just kidding. You know,
I will say I've yet to see a big boy with a man bun. Like, I will say that.
I've seen it ironically.
Man, if my hair would grow that long, I might just have one.
My hair's growing in the other direction. It's growing away from me.
Me too.
My hair's migrated south forever. So that's so we got all this fuck up now.
It's all
I'm gonna take this opportunity here, throw this out here, and I'm gonna post an email. I'm gonna post an email address on here in the comments. Now Hibiscus I'm part of Hibiscus Society, CSUT 40, and I can't fucking talk. Doing the bottom middle.
Reciprocity.
We're part of Hibiscus Society. So and we're doing because Texas got hit hard with with that winter storm. The whole state got put on. I mean, Mother Nature just bent us over and just fucked us over.
Yeah.
I know people. I know people in the Midwest that deal with cold temperatures and blizzards, and people on the who deal with blizzards. But we're not set up for that. This is fucking Texas. We're used to hot and humid, not negative 20 wind chill and no power and no water and all this shit. Like we got fucked. But one thing we noticed is that a lot of our homeless neighbors their shelters have been compromised. The frigid cold temperatures made their tents brittle, and with the high winds, caused them to tear and rip open. And we're starting to get into our rainy season now, and their shelters are compromised. So we at Hibiscus Society are trying to get together with anyone and everyone. If you're in Texas, I'm going to put the email in the comments. Send us an email. If you got a tent, a tarp, a sleeping bag, anything you can part with, let us know. We will find a way to get it from you to give it to them. If you're out of state, out of area, and you want to buy a $20 tent on Amazon or whatever, email. I'll send you an address to ship it to, and then we'll make sure it gets to the people that our homeless neighbors who need it. So the email's really easy, just hibiscussociety@protonmail.com.
That seems like a noble thing.
We're not taking I don't want to do any cash donation, cash transactions. But if you order something on Amazon, I'll send you an address to send, so you can have it, you can do a gift receipt and just have it, do it anonymously and just have it shipped to the address. I'll email to you, and we'll make sure it gets out to the people who need it most. But Houston, Austin, and Dallas Fort Worth area, they got hit, especially Austin and DFW got hit hard. If you can donate or do anything, just let us know, and we will work with you and try to get what you can give to the people who need it most. I can't. You guys got anything you want to talk about? Any headlines or anything you guys have seen that you want to discuss or bring up?
So U.S. diplomats got fucking anal swabbed in China. That's one thing.
I thought that was a joke.
Oh fuck no! It's for
I
real.
literally, because I saw the meme for the COVID test where it's like stick your finger in someone's butt, and if it smells like shit, they're negative, and it smells like nothing, then they're positive.
No, yeah, no.
That literally
test is a
happened.
real thing. Yeah, no, they started it out in China, and just recently there was some U.S. diplomats who went over there, and they basically were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this COVID test on y'all." And so yeah, China is, I think, kind of
bend over now.
what they can do. So they pretty much told them like, "Hey, pull your fucking pants down and bend over and spread your cheeks," and they just stuck a little swab in there, and that was their COVID test. That's fucked.
Why?
I'll stick to the nose swab.
If you can do the face swab stuff, why do the butt swab? I don't understand.
I think there's ulterior motives, but that's a little bit, conspiracy shit.
That had to have been like, hey, let's fuck with the Americans.
With the Americans.
Right. Like, what can we get away with? I mean, like, if you really were to dive into the conspiracy aspect of it, then they could be testing like what kind of diets these people have, what kind of things they could use to fuck them over completely. I mean, but that's all way out there. But
oh
still,
my god!
I think that
face value,
I've been explicitly told that's for next week, so I'm gonna be reining myself in. But I'm also wanting to scream. Have y'all ever heard of Project Bluebeam?
no. I'm gonna have to
yes, next week we will be. I'm gonna reach out to. There's a chat group that I've got introduced to that is full of conspiracy theories. So we're gonna have a bunch of conspiracy theory guys on next week. We're gonna pull back the curtain and
count me in.
I'll get my
talk about the conspiracy theories and see how weird we can get.
Dude.
The sad thing is that things that should feel like they should be conspiracy theories just aren't anymore.
Right?
Nothing surprises me anymore. I'm so
Bill
desensitized.
Gates is not a conspiracy theory. Agenda 21, United Nations, not a conspiracy anymore. The Great Reset, not a conspiracy anymore.
I mean, you got to remember, though, we were told not to go down these rabbit holes. We shouldn't be doing our research. To be looking
Right?
at nothing
Which one
anymore.
was that Washington Post or New York Times? Because they both had absurd
New York Times.
op-eds.
New York Times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
'cause-
Yeah,
don't
the New
critical
York
think.
Times.
Don't
Don't
question
go down
it.
the rabbit hole.
Just accept it for what it
Just
is.
trust the
Don't-
Yeah,
man.
our
overthink
methods of
Ignore
critical
the man behind the curtain.
our methods of critical thinking are failing us in this era of disinformation.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah,
God.
I remember that
Dude,
now.
Orwell-
Oh, God, that was cringe.
Orwell may have been a socialist, like a tanky borderline at times, but god damn it, is he spinning in his grave.
I used to be a conspiracy theorist. Now I'm just accurate.
Thank you, Juan.
I mean,
is
the worst part about George Orwell is that when he wrote 1984 and Animal Farm, is that it wasn't predicting the future. It was what he was seeing was happening in the time that he was living. So
Yeah.
he's seen 1984 when he wrote that book.
Well, he was saying he was seeing 1948. You know, the only reason why he had some other absurd title for it. They're like, no, fuck that. That's too long. So he's like, okay, it's 1948. I'll just flip around the numbers, and it became 1984. It was like the laziest title ever. One of the most.
Hey, it
pathetic
works, though.
books. Yeah, I mean, it does.
I
It's
Keep
just-
it simple, stupid.
Mm.
It is really, I mean, jeez.
I mean, the other
Oh,
one that
Right.
doesn't get enough attention, I think, is Fahrenheit 451.
I was about to say that's the next one that's
Oh, yeah.
right up there.
Because you know what's interesting about that is it's like the most misinterpreted book of all time, because he wrote it about television, and people read it as censorship, but he wrote it about the obsession with television and mind numbing and the anesthetic nature of television. And then, I mean, both interpretations of the book have obviously turned out to be entirely true.
Stop wearing my mask. It's a symbol of government control. I'll wear one if asked, but not if they don't. I said, okay. All right. How do you guys feel about mask mandates?
Mandate is in and of itself too far. I mean, how are you going to enforce that? You're going to arrest people for not wearing a mask?
They
Yes,
are.
and they do.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
they do. I think they actually shot someone for not wearing a mask. Like the original encounter was he wasn't wearing a mask, and then it escalated into the guy was shot.
Well, that's because police love to escalate things. Like, there's no like de-escalation. It's all either you comply or I'm going to escalate this until either you're in a cage or you're in a grave.
Oh,
Well,
geez,
you know, they
why
have
do
a
we
bullet
always have
budget,
to
and if
hate
they
on the
don't-
cops? The cops are just doing their job. Jeez.
Oh, right. I forgot. Let me
Okay,
taste that
boomer.
So as I do see
Remember that time
many
Tommy
problems-
became a boomer FUD?
Ooh.
What's he said?
So as I do see many problems with like this whole mask mandate, with the whole social conditioning of like you don't see your best friend's face for like a year in public now, like children have to wear it. Whatever your opinions on coronavirus is, it does give me an excuse to hide my identity in public. It gives me legal reason to do it.
It has been pretty awesome walking into a bank wearing a mask.
Right. I feel
like a
really weird
childhood-
about
Cops and robbers' dream.
I feel really weird about it because, like, if you go back, you can see all my images and everything like that prior to this COVID stuff. I was wearing masks all the time, but it wasn't because I was worried about getting sick. It was like half fashion and half I don't really want to show my face everywhere. Now I feel like I've got to fucking go above and beyond to not wear the damn thing, just to like, you know, and it's just frustrating as hell. I mean, like, it's not like my face is like a secret or anything at this point. I just wear them. I would wear them to spark up conversations with people so I could tell them about how the government was spying on us. But like now, you know, it's the principle of the matter. I can't fucking wear it, and it pisses me off because I love masks. Like, I love masks. I think they look cool.
The establishment stole my
They're ruining my fashion. They're ruining my fashion.
Anytime the government says you have to do something, it's government overreach and tyranny.
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion. Now, if
Every
a
time.
private business, let's say the little fucking market down the street puts up a sign that says no shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service, I'll put a mask on. It's their business. It's private property. I respect it. I look at it as the same way as like somebody who asks you to take your shoes off when you go in their house. You know, so it's like out of respect, I'll wear the mask. I don't take issue to it. I don't see that as, but to have the government say you must do this, fuck, I do.
Right.
Yeah, same thing with like businesses that are like, hey, don't open carry here. I'm not gonna like walk in with an AR on my back and make them tell me not to do it. It's listed there and that's what they prefer. So I will either not carry guns out in the open or I just won't fucking go in.
Right.
Like it's that simple, but they're getting ridiculous about it too, though. Like you have people, they're like, oh, you have to wear a mask in here, right? And you're at a restaurant, and you look around, and everybody at their tables, all around you, are not wearing masks because food, you know, like when you're eating, apparently you can't fucking spread it.
The food particles keeps the COVID from infecting you.
Oh my god!
When you're sitting down at a table, stuffing your face. There's no room for COVID.
My favorite one are those bands that have like the entire mask cut out, so they can play their instrument, and it's just there for like social credit.
Yeah, it just looks like it's there. Oh my god, I've seen that before. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh, that's,
I have a
little fucking COVID cannon out of a fucking clarinet.
Oh my
spraying
god,
COVID everywhere.
Oh,
I've got a protest mask that I wear. It's like an anonymous mask, and it's got like hole. Dude, this thing has holes where the nose and mouth are, and people are okay with me wearing that. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're wearing a mask," and I'm like, "Y'all are fucking morons."
See, I want to get one of those plague doctor masks and wear it at work because my work did like a fucking mask mandate for work. Yeah, no, my boss said, no, you can't wear that. I'm like, but it said I had to wear a mask. He's like, you can't. Yes. Then they changed, and then within a week, they changed the policy because I figured I wasn't the only asshole that wanted to wear a plague doctor mask. So the company changed the whole policy and was very specific on it had to be cloth and single color and look like a fucking pair of panties on your face.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't usually complain about that.
I'm starting to feel bad because I didn't have all this facial hair when this started, and everybody was complaining about their beards and stuff, and I just kind of blew it off, and I was just like, oh god, this is horrible. Like, even with a little facial hair, it's horrible.
It's itchy.
I mean, I don't mind wearing panties on my face, but it's still inappropriate to whip your dick out in Walmart and jerk off.
I mean,
that's probably going to stay inappropriate.
That's a story for another time.
Damn, life goals, damn it.
It's like masturbating on an airplane. It's not illegal, but highly frowned upon.
As long as they can't hear you from outside the bathroom, you should be good.
It's a lot funner to drive. You ever?
Oh, you go in the bathroom on the airplane?
Oh god.
Oh god.
Exposed.
I thought that's what the bag was for.
Yeah, seriously. I thought that was the cum catcher.
Oh fuck. Oh, don't use the pillows, especially if you find a little hole cut in it.
Oh,
what? Mommy, why do the pillows sound like Velcro when you pull them apart?
Oh god. Oh god.
Why are all the in-flight magazines stuck together? What the fuck is this shit?
You don't want to see that page.
Dad, why are you on the guy page? So me and your mom love each other, but
no Pee Wee Herman, no Walmart.
So, do you know what Pee Wee Herman got arrested for, by the way?
What?
Yeah, who doesn't know that?
Shit, I
He
don't.
got arrested jerking off in an adult theater.
Yeah, you can't do
Isn't
that.
what you're supposed to do in an adult
No.
Oh.
Now, I used to work at a adult novelty store that had a theater in the back. Now, I was the security there, so my job was actually to go back there and like stop it. And we had, if the room doesn't seal, which ours didn't, the doors were like a foot off the ground, a foot off the ceiling. You cannot do adult things in the stalls.
Wait, so
it's
if
still
the door
considered
does
exposure.
seal, you can.
If it's a sealed room, then it's frowned upon but not illegal.
So
Like
because
being
there was
in
a
an
crack
airplane.
at the top and the bottom, you're not allowed to. But
Correct, because it's considered like a bathroom stall.
Oh
Oh,
my god,
fuck.
that's so arbitrary.
Oh, I know. That's how our laws work.
I mean,
apparently.
bathroom stalls haven't stopped me from getting it off multiple times. So I feel like if I was in that situation, I would not care.
Yeah, just don't do it in front of kids. I don't care.
All I'm saying is the 6 years I spent in the army, I feel really weird around porta johns, especially when it's really hot out.
Fuck, it's dry. Oh, okay, we're good.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
fuck.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See this. Yeah. That's why on this live broadcast I checked the box that this is not for kids.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that you did.
Hey,
It is a
hey.
good thing that you did.
those are still better than jailhouse showers.
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, where you end up with like a 350-pound dude like washing your back and caressing what's left of your hair.
I mean, no. I mean,
That's the most love some of us get.
most of the counties around here, you have an individual shower stall, but you see 9,000 shower babies when you walk in.
Oh
yeah.
god.
And then you see some new kid, some 18-year-old kid just walking in there with no shoes on him. Like,
Oh.
oh, God, please don't be my bug
No.
Oh.
all the
That's
time.
Kate's foot.
I always ended up having to be the asshole. I had to go tell dude, put some shoes on.
I don't know why that makes you an asshole. Like you're trying to
I
save
don't know.
somebody.
I don't say it nice. I would just scream it from across the tier, you dumb shit.
Okay. Okay. So going back to the blizzard in Texas, Betsy Price, mayor of Fort Worth, she killed people. She got people killed.
How bad?
Oh, dude, no. Okay, so the Rail Club Live is a bar that has been going to war with the city over the GA28, the bar shutdown order for COVID. They defied it, got their liquor license pulled. Well, they've still been opening and doing other things without a liquor license because they're like, well, we can't sell liquor, so we're just gonna still have our concerts and we'll do mask mandates and social distancing. Like they did all this stuff the way they modeled how to do it, and then the state copied it for all the Chili's and Applebee's, all the other bars that serve food to open. Anyways, so when the blizzard hit, they opened up as a shelter because they're in Southwest Fort Worth, which is primarily a poor community. A lot of people on Section 8, a lot of people on government assistance. So he opened his doors. He contacted the mayor's office, said, "Hey, I'm open. Put me on that list. We're open as a shelter. We got power. We got heat. We got water. We're gonna have food. We got blanket. Like send people our way. And the mayor's office was like, yeah. We got about 90 people headed your way. Nobody showed up from the city. She made one video announcement on Facebook, saying yes. And if you're in Southwest Fort Worth, you can go to Rail Club Live, and then that was it. She didn't update the 211 reference. She didn't add it to any of her online posters that they were a warming center or a shelter. And he calculated there was about a dozen deaths in a 10-mile radius of Rail Club Live of people dying from exposure and carbon monoxide poisoning trying to stay warm who didn't have power.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
They probably don't feel bad about it at all because they don't.
Mayor won't. Her pride got in her way, and people are calling for her immediate resignation, which she will not respond.
Charges.
She should.
That's just negligence. I mean, if at the least, fucking Christ.
Yeah,
But remember, they care about us.
Everything I want to say on the matter is exceptionally spicy, so I'll shut up now.
Okay. Well, no, they, and the worst, I mean, the city, Fort Worth tried. They really did try. They did all open shelters from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that you had to go to them, but you had to pay for parking. They would not pick you up. They would not offer food, water, or blankets. So basically you had to bring all your shit in, and then at 7 a.m. you had to box all your shit up and cart yourself out. And that was how the government helped. That was Joe Biden's help. That's how the federal government provided aid to Texas. Like, I'm not big on government aid, but I'm like, they're trying to tout how Biden did all this shit for Texas. Biden didn't do a goddamn thing for Texas.
Didn't AOC raise a bunch of money somehow? Where the fuck did all that go?
For re-election campaign.
Dallas or some. I don't know. I haven't seen shit.
Yep. I haven't seen shit either. I haven't heard
Yeah,
about
if you
shit.
raised money and stuff was being put out, you would think there would be some news coverage over it.
Right.
Over, hey, this is what this is going to in this major event. But there's just fucking nada. And those of us who live in Texas, you would expect us to see it on our local news and like our Facebook
Right?
feed, Twitter feeds of like our
Something.
cities.
Don't you think if she raised $2 million, about $2 million worth of food and water, and brought in truckloads of stuff, they would have cameras and she'd be there handing the stuff out as a photo op. It's a perfect opportunity. Democrats love why waste a crisis? Is their famous
Especially
motto.
with the Wrangler himself, Ted Cruz, trying to bring back the sun, and AOC bringing back cans of soup. Like, you definitely fucking see something going on with that.
Mhm.
That's a great bipartisan effort that just fucking nothing happened with.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
just-
this is why I would rather us have to fend for ourselves and do it on our own, because they're taking shit from us. We pay their salaries, and they got to sit up there in the warm, ritzy, lovely place.
Oh,
None
dude,
of
our
these
fucking
motherfuckers had to suffer. They just sat up there.
Ted Cruz went to
and-
Mexico.
Well, yeah, Ted Cruz went to Mexico and then tried to blame it
I mean,
on
I
his
don't blame him.
daughters.
I don't
Tried to blame it
blame
on his
him,
daughters.
but I mean, I don't know. If I was in a position of political power, I don't think I'd go to Mexico. If I was just me, average citizen, and I was like, wait, okay, partner without power, Cancun.
I say the next
I'm
time
gonna go to
this shit
Cancun.
happens, we all
So,
come together and
even
fucking
though-
take over their houses and use their fucking electricity and warmth and shit like that. And make them sit the fuck
Occupy
outside
their
and freeze
shit.
to death.
Even though that is a very good point of that people shouldn't have been waiting for government help, there was a mayor who released a statement on his personal Facebook, I think it was
Oh,
Colorado City,
yeah.
Texas, to where he told people, hey, we can't help, or essentially came out to, we can't help you. You're on your own. Fend for yourselves. Be tough. Survive on your own.
Yeah. Only
And
the strong
entire
will
city got
survive.
fired.
Yeah, he quit before they fucking like hung him out and like quartered him in the streets.
Yep.
Like I think he moved. He might have moved to Cancun. Like fuck this! I'm leaving America. I'm now a pariah. I'm out. But but you know what though? I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I don't know. I was raised like I was raised Mormon. I was raised in
really?
disaster prepper. So my parents had the 55-gallon drums of clean drinking water and the filter and the 3-day store of food, all the
3
dehydrated
days?
shit.
That's some rookie shit right there.
Well, I mean, they were. Yeah, it was. Well, we lived in a condo with a small storage shed, so that's what we. The shed was full, but that's all we could store safely.
Yeah, no, I didn't know you were
But-
raised Mormon as well.
But there is a level of like my family, like we went without power for 2 days. We went without water for 2 days. We were okay because I knew the storm was coming. I went to the store. I stocked up on some. I got 3 cases of bottled water, and I stocked up, and I went and stocked up on non-perishable foods, just enough to get us through a week. I didn't go to like Walmart. I have a Sam's Club membership, so I went to Sam's Club. And we did okay. We got through it. I mean, I was melting once we got power back. We still didn't have water. I was melting snow to flush my shitter. But you do what you got to do, and there's a level of self-reliance you need that used to be very prevalent in our country that isn't there anymore.
No.
People are so dependent on technology, so dependent on convenience, so dependent on, well, if this happens, the government will take care of it.
Well, and also in a lot of ways, they've gone out of their way to make a society very juvenile and dependent, like in so many ways, just stunted. Like they don't have the foresight to go out and do such a thing.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, we used to though.
I mean, we used to.
Nowadays we expect.
This,
Nowadays we expect them to be there to do their jobs,
well,
or
it's
what
the
they say
immediate.
is their fucking jobs, and we don't have a backup plan. We don't have our own safety nets. They're
Well, and
supposed to be the safety net, which is fucking bullshit.
it's
Don't
the
ever
immediate
say that.
gratification of it all too. This is why I hate porn so much. It's just like it everything gets. I mean, Hollywood. You look at Hollywood, you see everything gets younger and younger and younger, and there's just this push to be younger is all right, and it's just like nobody ever matures as a society. Like it's just all right to not to be permanently, the you, me, and Dupree type of situation.
Fair. That's fair.
Anyways, that's probably more conspiratorial too. I'll shut up again.
Perhaps. I mean, it's hard
No,
to
it's
find the
fine.
line now. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to find the fucking line.
It is like this is shit I've been saying for years, and now it's like, is it really that conspiratorial that there to think that there would be a deliberate drive to not just dumb down society, but deliberately,
Cause shortages.
or make it youthful. Well, that too, but make it youthful, make it more juvenile and less mature, like demature, for lack of a better word, society as a whole.
Yeah, so that we stay reliant on them.
Well, it's like that. It's like that's fucking shit from V from Vendetta, where the chancellor's standing there saying to his fucking board of people, his advisors, going, "Remind the people why they need us." And then the media puts out all the disaster and virus and all this horrible, horrible shit, and how the government is saving them from all this, and then they do all this other shit, and it's just like it's scary accurate how that applies to today.
Yeah.
And it's like and it's, but thinking that way, they like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist.
Oh,
But it's what's happening
right now.
Yeah, open your
I mean,
eyes.
they were turning the frogs gay. Like, that's been proven. Like, as crazy as that sounds, like, it's true.
I thought they were just causing them to switch genders.
I mean,
Can they turn me gay?
That's semantics. Turn the frogs.
Sometimes I think life would be easier if I was.
Dude, I wish I was gay so bad. I wish I could
Y'all
just go
say
throttle
that?
some cock right now. I'd be happy.
Y'all say that, but
I'm not.
you know how hard it is to find good gay people in the liberty movement. Like, they're either they get snatched up immediately. Nobody's single anymore. I'm fucking lonely.
Oh,
I'm lonely.
Bro, we're all lonely and going to die alone. If you didn't already have somebody getting into this, you're just gonna die alone. We're all gonna die alone.
I mean, you might run into somebody along the way, like meet some badass activist on the street.
I always feel weird hitting on people within the movement though, because it feels like kind of like Ted Danson and Cheers, like this is an HR violation. I know we don't have human resources in the Boogaloo. But like the thirsty chats are such an HR violation. Like
It's easy for me. I'm married, so I'm like a dog on a chain. I bark on my chain, and then like I'm just like, okay, cool. I don't even worry about it because it's just like, fuck it. I go
except
home.
for like my close few that I'm just like saying absurd sexual shit that's just like blatantly out there. Like I'll see a pretty girl, like I can't say anything. That's like just blatant HR violation. then I'll jump in the shower and be like, wait, the boob doesn't have an HR department. Just don't be an asshole. But I never know, so I just shut up.
Feel that.
Oh my god.
that is actually like a really good point, though. That's being way more mature than what we have been as a society, because all that is doing is just saying, "Hey, I'm here to be a professional.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the best I can."
Yep.
I do my best. I only send butthole pics to feds.
That's a fact.
That includes Mike Dunn.
Oh god. Oh, you know what? With that said,
Yeah.
boom.
It's about that.
You knew I'd say at least
Great
one
time.
fucking-
I knew he was. I knew the dumpster fire was gonna come up at some point. When I saw that comment, and I was gonna hold on to it and wait for somebody to mention the man we dare not speak his name.
There's Voldemort.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god, that is some shit. I mean, I could probably do a whole fucking. I mean, but it's been done. There's been no pun intended. There's been so many episodes on other shows
Yeah.
about this ass hat that I'm not gonna. I don't want to do one.
You don't have to.
Until like the bomb is dropped and we have the
Correct.
proof of all proof that he's a piece of shit.
We can prove he's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, we can prove he's a piece of shit.
everything else
But the
is
proof
just
he's a fucking
complicated.
actual
Well, I mean,
confidential informant.
Yeah.
So
That
my
won't come up
favorite
for you.
thing about the whole Mike Dunn situation is that everybody kind
Dunn.
of knew it a little bit. We
Dude, Alex
never
Jones-
really had the proof to be like, yeah, no, that's real until that fucking day all that shit came out.
Alex Jones literally fucking called
I mean, we know he fucked up. We just don't really know how bad.
Okay, fuck it. I'll fucking say it. All right, so like, and I've pointed this out on other shows, and I've said it, and I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna keep saying it. How the fuck did the feds know where Dave bought ammunition with cash, unless Mike fucking told him?
Mm-hmm.
Because Dunn is a fucking narc.
Ding ding.
There's a lot of unanswered questions revolving
The
around that.
the only acceptable answer to that is there's only one gun store in Maine within 150 miles of that guy. That is the only acceptable.
Oh really? I mean, is it?
No, he's not far out
Okay.
of Bangor, Maine, so Bangor's
It's not that far. Yeah, I was gonna say there's more than one, and they went to the one. They went right to it with a cash transaction.
Yeah.
So
It makes you wonder if they
if
were.
nobody told them where to look,
Yeah.
they're fucking psychics, and they should be feared and burned at the stake
I mean, they could have had eyes
because
on
they're witches.
going, and like, I mean, they could have.
Not figuratively.
Right. They could have had eyes on where he was
in
going,
Minecraft.
all that kind of shit. I mean, like, just GPS through his phone, anything. There's a myriad of answers, but the most obvious one is that Dunn told them exactly what the fuck was going on.
With how quickly they went to it, somebody told
There's a
them.
lot of odd questions. Like, not even all of them are related to Dunn. Like, if he's a felon, why did they just go for ammo? Why didn't they go for his guns and shit like that? Like, there's a lot of weird questions.
Tommy's saying something, but
Tommy might
he's
be
muffled.
speaking. Yeah,
Me?
Yeah,
we couldn't
you said
hear
something, but we couldn't hear you because it sounded like you
Oh.
were talking out your asshole.
Oh, I'm usually doing that anyways, though.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so I mean, what Mike Bobby says is a perfect point, though. What about this truck with all these guns that Mike supposedly drove off? And there's multiple stories what he did, right? There's one that he parked in the woods, and that's what these are stories he has said. Mind you. There's a story he said he parked in the woods. There's a story he turned it in. There's a story he abandoned it in the city. Either way, Dave, Mike Dunn connected to these guns. How do the feds not pick up on that, but pick up on the ammo?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's
either
really
way, that is
weird.
blatant public knowledge that Dave himself has publicly acknowledged and asked to be released. He asked me to say publicly that Mike took the guns. How have the feds not come after that? Because at the time, I didn't even know he was a felon. He asked me to release that he had the guns. He asked me to release that Mike took them and had multiple stories about what he did with them in this truck afterwards.
Yeah.
That, okay, you asked me to release this. That tweet didn't get, that Twitter thread got a decent bit of attention. How do the feds
Yeah,
not
it did.
pick up on that?
Right.
Indeed.
That is a massive question. That is not a question. That is a question that makes Mike look bad, but it's also a question that makes Dave look bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
So Dave was the guy that he was with out in Maine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave picked him up in Virginia, took him back up to his place in Maine.
Fuck.
to, I guess, teach someone how to shoot. And then there was,
weren't they like?
and then after that, it gets
doing-
into 35 different versions of whatever Mike fucking
Well, there
said.
was the idea was David said in his stories consistent that he was going to turn it basically into a Boog Haven out there outside of Bangor.
Yeah, 'cause he had like 85 acres or something like that.
Yeah.
He's got a huge plot of property.
Weren't they taking videos of them like practicing black bagging people and sketchy shit like
No,
that?
that was
There was a repost, like that's been out there for a long time.
Oh shit!
yeah. He's been talking about that for a while. He was just that black bagging politicians thing. It's a training run he does, and then ends it with let's black bag politicians. He's been doing that since May. Well, at least that's the first time I've seen it. It's literally he's posted the same routine they do. It's this little parade routine, and then he posted let's flag back politicians. He just did it again, and he did that like 4 or 5 days before he left.
Jesus, that's a great way to have such a great plan. Just post it online.
How do you end up? How do we end up going through the Gretchen Whitmer situation and having him connected to at least one of those boys? Two of the guys were big boys, and having had contact with both of them, connected deliberately with one of them.
I can't hear you. There's like some wind or something.
That's not on me.
Might be
Who's
me.
outside?
Hang on. Me.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
walking the dog.
Oh, gotcha.
Mute your shit.
Okay, cool. How do we like? It's like just like the Capitol riots. How does everything? How does after everything that happened with Gretchen Whitmer, where we or not even Mike, but we have two Boogaloo boys who were involved in that plot, and then plot seems like a way nicer word than it actually was, just a dumpster fire. But Mike is connected to closely to one of them, or has been shown to. He was coming out there to Michigan. Within 48 hours, the Gretchen Whitmer situation blows up. How does that happen? And then he talks about blackballing politicians, and is not even an issue. How the fuck does that happen?
Like when it comes to dumpster fire, there's a lot of unanswered
There are. That's
what the
just
fuck
one
moments of just
one
weird
people haven't brought up.
coincidences.
Yeah, and this is the granddaddy catch of all piles of unanswered questions right now.
Yep. I'm sorry, I could go on and on. That's just one I thought
know.
of. I hadn't been mentioned much. Is like, people talk about the Capitol riots. How does him just talking about black bagging politicians after what happened with Gretchen Whitmer blows my mind.
Yeah, and then you get a guy who posts
Yeah,
on Twitter about fucking like, why didn't somebody shoot that cop? And they end up in federal custody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, it's kind of weird that,
Like,
Shit.
what makes him so Teflon-y that he can fucking say all this accelerationist bullshit and not a damn thing happens to him? But the minute somebody else says something slightly on the line, they're fucking getting feds on their fucking doorstep.
The feds
I'm not
came to
gonna
my
lie.
the feds came to my house because of a quote I said where something like basically I jack off to Dan Crenshaw hanging from a tree. And that was a tweet that had them come to my house. That pales in comparison to some of the shit Mike Dunn has said. I'm just like, how the fuck?
I'm starting to get a bit paranoid because I say some spicy shit here and there and nobody ever fucking shows up. I think they're fucking just waiting to see what I'm gonna say.
And that's a really good point there too. Like, everybody I've talked to that has had their weapons confiscated by the feds, they are. I mean, it is a year-long process. Not just by the feds, but by any local government. It'll take months and months to get your shit back.
Yeah, the Odessa boys, they were fighting the closed bar, the GA28 mandate, and they got local Odessa PD got to use their MRAP and showed up, and they weren't even in the bar; they were in the parking lot owned by the bar, and with the way the Texas alcohol TABC laws are written, it's very convoluted and open for interpretation. So they consider the parking lot part of the bar. So they were charged with having firearms in a bar and had their firearms seized. They still haven't gotten their firearms back yet.
I can't speak for
That's
other states,
ridiculous.
but Texas gun laws, or Texas laws in general, are written very vaguely. Because one of the things I like to do is go on 2A hikes through like national forests, which is perfectly legal. It's perfectly fine. You have to obey by state laws. And there's a law in the books in Texas. I have a screenshot of it somewhere, and I can share it to you guys after this. But if somebody feels threatened or they feel like you're being a menace to society,
Menacing.
yeah, a menace to society, that you can be charged with a felony on their behalf.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how California's gun laws are. Is open carry in of itself wasn't illegal, but if somebody feels threatened by your open carry, you are now a felon
No,
for brandishing. Even if it's in a hole, unloaded in a holster, it's
Well,
still
that's what
considered.
that's
Still
what their
considered
state
brandishing.
That's what their state laws are, but almost the entirety of California has moved to just have all municipalities outright ban it. But
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I used
but
to
the
be
state
Anybody know
law
what happened to
is-
Chevy
from
McGee?
Texas. Now I'm so
Who is
I'm just
Chevy
embarrassed.
McGee?
I don't even know what Chevy McGee is. That's what Victor was
Yeah,
asking.
me either.
Anybody know Chevy McGee? Chevy.
That's a
I
cool
do. He
name.
was in Colorado. I think it was Colorado Springs. But he and a bunch of his friends got fed knocked, and they fucking went off the rails, essentially, and they all got arrested. As far as I know, when the council was like a real thing, is that he was blacklisted.
Shit, bro, I've been blacklisted from
Yeah,
every.
I'm like,
I think
why the
everybody's
fuck
been
council from
blacklisted.
Their goddamn blacklisting is so fucking stupid.
I don't think I have, but I'm pretty low key, so
I mean,
I will create a council just to blacklist myself.
Hey,
Council
hey,
blacklist.
if you make a council to blacklist yourself, blacklist me too, so I can say I've been blacklisted.
Yeah, we'll blacklist each other.
Yeah,
You
I'll
know I
make
like
my-
starting groups, Mike Bobby. You know I'll do it.
Let's do this shit.
The redacted
Council
blacklisters.
Blacklist. COB. Oh my god.
The
So
only
what do
way
you
you
mean
can
by
enter the
off
council
the
is to be
rails?
blacklisted.
When you say they went off the rails, what do you mean by that?
as far as I know, what I seen was a video of him talking to his mom, and some news reports is that they got fed knocked, and then they started making pipe bombs. That's essentially what I got from it. From
If
everything
he's out,
that
if he's out in Denver, we can ask Juan if he knows him. Juan was watching the show just a bit ago.
I think Juan left.
I don't
Oh.
think it was in Denver. I just think it was in that area. It may have been somewhere between like Denver and Colorado Springs.
He
maybe
just-
border.
This Victor fellow just mentioned that he was in Denver for the protests, so we can ask around. But
Yeah, but this is back when the whole movement started gaining a lot of traction too.
yeah,
This
Oh,
is like
I
a
saw
big
videos
beginning of
from that.
2020.
Like the cops were like, "Oh yeah, go talk to your mom," and then right after they say that, they fucking arrest him.
huh? Yeah, I haven't seen that. I was
Well, remember we got those two guys who had the truck drive through the BLM protests, and they opened fire, and then nothing happened to them immediately after, and then now they're trying to rope them in with like they started a riot and that didn't happen, and then they were part of the January 6th fucking thing, and with their online comments.
Well,
Yeah,
they'll call
shit.
anything a riot now, and they've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they were blurring the line of what it was and wasn't a riot when I was a fucking kid.
Oh, they in Texas they were going to pass it where if you step foot off the sidewalk, you are now you committed felony fucking rioting.
Jesus Christ!
And that was in Texas, mind you.
Oh, that's
So,
that's Governor Abbott. That's
Well, I know the guys that showed up to the J17 protest. We actually ourselves we got in Texas a book on the law or a House bill on the docket in Texas is that you can't bring a firearm within like 500 feet of a protest anymore.
mm-hmm.
And so now, especially with COVID, like if you have a number of people and it's declared a protest by the government and you have firearms with you, you're automatically a felon if that law passes. So now they don't even have to declare anything a riot. They just have to declare it a protest and you're automatically a felon.
It's a fucking clear constitutional infringement. They just don't even give a shit anymore. It's just
No, they don't. They don't give a shit anymore. They haven't given a shit about the Constitution for a long time. They've been, well, or rather, they give too much shit because they've been basically wiping their ass with it since before I was born. And it's just getting worse every fucking day.
Oh, absolutely.
This is something I told.
Yeah, they did this. They did that right after J17.
So I want to give a shout out to one of the people that's running for governor in Texas to replace good old Gregory. Is Dan Berman? He's running for governor here in Texas, and when I was talking to him the other day. This is kind of the thing that relates to me personally, is that my family has been here since before the Revolutionary War, and we fought into it. But what's going on, what's now is I'm kind of like split between does my heritage with this country, does that outweigh what's going on with what's right now? And that's a big factor. And everything I'm seeing that's going on is we definitely, like, things have to change. We can't continue as we are.
No, not at all.
Our heritage is rebellion.
Yeah, it is. And my family didn't even fight with Washington.
Especially
like we were here.
Texas.
fucking A.
I'm just looking something up real quick. I want to see if.
Well, I'm just here for the memes and the spicy talk. When the shit actually comes, I'm going to go fight for the government because they protect me.
They do so well for you.
Oh, I love the government so much. I'm such a big fan of the state.
This is getting clipped.
Get some of that,
Yeah, I know, right? Let's put this on the fucking B-roll.
just get some of that medium rare boot served up on a platter.
You just write down how far we were into that episode so I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been at this now for almost 90 minutes. So I think, if you guys have any closing remarks or anything you want to say, fucking out with it.
Fuck the state.
Government.
But that's my closing remark.
Fuck Mike Dunn. Fuck the state.
Does anybody know what happened to Expired State? Did y'all ever follow that guy?
No.
I don't think so.
Fucking A. I think he was around before the big Instagram purge. But
See, I was never over on Instagram. Like, that's a whole other world I just missed.
I have an Instagram. I just suck at doing things on it.
fuck. I feel that. I've had the same
I
one.
never really got onto it. I still have my Facebook, which I love, but
You have Facebook? That means you're a fed.
Well, fuck you. I still have my personal Facebook, Mike Bobby.
We all know you're a fed.
Yes. I am a fed.
Everybody knows you're a fed.
I'm big fed.
Big bed boy.
Tommy Payne is a clout chasing tuck fed boy.
I'm probably going to lose my Facebook after saying that, though.
They're like, oh shit, time to go find his Facebook and get rid of it.
Shit, dude, I've shared my MLTP interviews on my personal Facebook, and they still haven't taken it down.
I was wondering why we were getting people watching our videos from Facebook still, because you can go in the back and see where your views come from.
Oh, really?
And I'm just like, how is this on Facebook?
I don't know. I didn't put it on Facebook, so if somebody posted it on Facebook, cool.
I just don't give a fuck, dude. I mean, I don't talk to any of my normie friends anyways.
I don't even have any anymore. Like, they're gone.
I have a few.
All I do is I have those vegetarians that were so against what happened when the Kenosha Mile happened, and the Garrett Foster, they were like vehemently against that. And then once you start going, hey, this is what really happened. Here's video evidence. It was almost like everything was just completely manipulated to where they weren't real videos. They were just something the government made to convince them. was like, "What are you talking about, man?" Like this dude drove up in a Toyota Corolla and rolled down his window at a dead stop.
Well, he like we don't really care. I don't really care about laws, but normies care about laws, and they busted through. He drove through fucking red light. I saw that on the video. There was a red light. He went
Yeah,
through a
there
red
was-
light into a crosswalk.
Yeah. There was
Like-
screenshots of posts he made literally saying exactly what he would do if he was surrounded by protesters, and nothing. Nobody gives a shit. He's like, oh no, fuck that. Put 5 in their chest or something like that.
Well, he's a military man. That means he's on the side of the government, which means he can do no wrong.
Right.
I mean, if
Yeah,
they
but
didn't
that
fucking
affect
send him
people
to
too.
stir the pot to begin with.
And people don't want to
Those
admit that
guys.
Foster was a bug boy. They act like he was just, just a BLM protester. Like, no, he was a fucking boogaloo boy through and through. Like, look at his Facebook.
Yeah.
But that doesn't fit the narrative. They don't want to admit that somebody on that side of things has shed blood for the movement, and it's just whatever. What the fuck ever.
I mean, so as a closing thing, what I want to say is if you haven't watched the House hearing on domestic terrorism that Biden has ordered through executive order to happen every month, if you haven't watched the one that happened this week, you're definitely missing out on a lot of things that happened during that, because it put a lot of emphasis onto people in the liberty movement as being white supremacists, to where we all know that's not true.
Hey, will you link that to me?
Yeah, if I can find that I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
It's not even long. It's actually pretty fucking short as House hearings go.
Well, if nothing else, my final remarks are: fuck the feds, fuck the informants. Stay frosty, everybody out there. Keep mind, be mindful of what you're posting publicly. Keep your head on a swivel and just stay safe. Don't do stupid shit. Yeah, this has been the first episode of Shooting the Shit on Hibiscus Society News. I'm Benjamin Hawk. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.